Hey everybody, so welcome to a little bit different video than what I've been doing lately. It's all the previews and the reviews of the games and stuff really related to the game. So we're going to do something a little different. It's a list video. I haven't done a list video in a while. And this one is about the 10 good things and 10 not so good things since the RTP, that's Return to Play, got started. So we'll go over one good, one bad, one good, and yeah, so we'll get right to it. This should be just something a little different, something. It's kind of an off day. Well, it's an off day for Montreal. There are games going on, but it's an off day for Montreal. So I thought just I'll make a little bit of a break from all the playoff talk. Okay, let's get right into it. Not so good. First one on the not so good side. Bell Center hot dogs. Can't get them right now. Now, I'll admit, foreign hot dogs were better. There's no reason for it because they took all that same equipment and they brought it to the Bell Center, and it's the same hot dogs, the same buns. Nothing's changed. But at the Forum, they were a little bit better, but the Bell Center hot dogs are good. They're just hot dogs, but I don't know why they make them so good there. But they are really good. Can't get them right now because we can't go to the Bell Center. Number 10 on the good side. 0 positive tests. So the league announced today that third week in a row there were 0 positive tests. So it really seems like the bubble is working. I mean, look at baseball where the way they're doing it just didn't work. So when you have a bubble like this, it seems to be the way to go. And proof of that is 0 positive tests in 3 weeks so far. And I haven't heard anything on the NBA side. And the NBA is doing the same thing, bubble and doing it like that. So seems to be the way to go. That's a positive. That's great. Bad side, number 9. Habs power play. The Habs power play has been abysmal, except for game 2 of this Flyers series, where they got 2 power play goals. Other than that, in 7 games, the others, I guess 6 games, excuse me. In the other 6 games, they have gotten a total of 1 goal, and I do believe that was in this series against Flyers. So their power play is abysmal, and I thought it would get better, that they would do something different for these playoffs. I thought even that Muller's going to be the coach. I thought right away, okay, he's not going to be coaching the power play. Maybe things will be different. And that first game, it was, but they got nothing on the power play yesterday. They had 3 chances, so they could have gotten a goal, you think. But the power play has been abysmal. Number 9 on the good side. Been really good hockey. The hockey has been a lot better than I thought it would be. I have to admit that I think it seems like they might be getting some of the players a little bit tired, and that's understandable when you consider that long layoff, and then they have to come back into these really intense games after a pretty short training camp. You got to figure at some point there's going to be some tiredness for these guys. It seems to be happening a little bit, but the hockey's been really good so far. I'm surprised how good the hockey's been, actually, how much I'm enjoying it. Number 8 on the bad side. Weird start time hours. So the games are starting at some weird times, depending even on where you live. If you live in the West Coast, at noon, here it's 3 o'clock is the early game. And you got 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 5:30, all the weird times for during the week, and we're not used to that. So that's kind of like a bad thing. You never know. You're kind of used to a game starting at a certain time, and it's just weird having them. I don't know. For me, it's been up and down like the Habs the last 5 games. So you want to say, I guess, all the games that are going to have happened in this series, because we don't know if there's going to be a 6th. But it was all 8-3, 8-3, 8. So it's kind of like a yo-yo. So just weird start times. I haven't liked it. Number 8 on the good side. Habs look like a playoff team. I don't think anybody really thought they would. Well, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say nobody thought they would. There were people. I thought they'd be okay, but I never would have thought they'd do as well as they're doing now. And they look really good. That's the emergence of Suzuki. KK being the best player on the ice for 2 out of the 3 games, at least, of these against the Flyers. Looking like a total opposite player. I'm going to do video on him. KK has been a big surprise. Suzuki, not so much of a surprise, just great to see it happen. But I mean, I think we were all expecting, but maybe not so quickly, right? And just to see them on the first and second line at center, it's been great. So, yeah, I mean, the Habs look like a playoff team when they're healthy. When they're healthy and they've got everybody, and their lack of depth is changing. It's starting to be, there's some depth there as they're developing players. Look at Jake Evans, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, they look like a playoff team now, legitimately. Number 7 on the bad side, I'm just going to write mental distress. So for this, I mean, there was the Tuukka Rask situation where he opted out. He wanted to be at home with his family. He's got young kids at home and a newborn. And I think it's very understandable. It seems like the players on his team think it's understandable. And there's players that are still playing that didn't do what Rask is doing and are probably suffering the same kind of mental distress. Now, you could say Rask could have opted out early, like everybody else who opted out did. And yeah, you're probably right. He thought he could do it probably. He really probably thought he could do it and found out that he can't. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's not, yeah, we all make mistakes. We all make bad judgments. He thought he could, but he couldn't. Should he suffer the mental distress? And clearly he wasn't there. His numbers were not his normal numbers for regular season or playoffs. And you could see he wasn't there. His mind wasn't on the game. Some of the comments he made, his mind wasn't there. So just some of the players are suffering mental distress, even though they don't say anything. We can't see it, but they are. And I think that's a really bad thing to come from having to play the games this way where they have to be so isolated from their families. Next up, number 7 on the good side, Alex Romanov. So Romanov signed, sealed, and delivered. So Romanov signed his ELC. He had signed like an I don't know what you call it, but it wasn't they didn't put the start time on it, so that's why he's not allowed to play. But he signed and eventually actually signed it with a date, so that he did burn off the first year of the ELC, but he signed sealed because he came to Montreal. He's with them in the bubble in Toronto, so that's delivered. So Alex Romanov, who will be here in the next training camp and next season, that's a great thing that he signed. And it happened during the RTP, so. Or just before, so it's enough that it's the RTP was what caused it. Number 6 on the bad side, Lafreniere sweepstakes. I don't know how else to put it, but sweepstakes. And it didn't have to be. So what I mean by that is, as a Montreal Canadiens fan, when they decided to do the lottery draft in a dumb way before the seasons, before they got started again, it was dumb because there was the possibility of having one of the spots that they're drawing going to a team that we have to wait to find out who it's going to be. This is what happened, and it turned out to be in the number 1 pick. So because of that, and because Montreal was in the qualifying round, if they lost, they would have had a chance to get Lafreniere. That caused a lot of stupid talk on Twitter about people, and me included for a while, wanting them to lose so that we can get that chance at that pick. If the league had only done the lottery after the qualifying round, none of the Lafreniere stuff, none of it would have happened because we would not even be we wouldn't be thinking about that. Wouldn't have been thinking about that because everybody would have had the shot at the Lafreniere, right? Not only those, I guess, 8 teams. And it just made for a lot of dumb talk, a lot of people wanting the Habs to lose. I remember when the Rangers, they finally announced the Rangers got him, right? And as soon as I heard it, I thought, oh my God, why did I ever not want Montreal to beat Pittsburgh? Why did I ever not want Montreal to advance and do the best they can in the playoffs? What was I thinking? And if they hadn't done all that, we wouldn't have that. So, yeah, the Lafreniere sweepstakes, just plain dumb. Number 6. On the good, there are no, I gotta write faster, are no glass bangers. I hate glass bangers. If you're not sure what they are, I'm gonna tell you in a sec. Not easy to write like that. No glass bangers. Those are the idiots that sit by the glass, and when the players come close, they go boom, 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 boom on the glass. I hate those guys. If you're one of them, I'm sorry. I used to like you because you're a subscriber and you watch my video. I no longer like you. I hate the glass bangers. It drives me mad. And because there's nobody in the stands, there's none of them there right now. And I love that. Number 5 on the bad. I guess I'm just going to put unfit to play. Okay, that's the new designation for injuries. Also, it could be if they have COVID, but there's zero positive, so it hasn't been that. But they went from, in my day at least, telling you what the players had wrong with them. And then somehow in the last, I don't know if it's 15 years, it went to UBI and LBIs for upper body and lower body injuries. And now, because of the COVID, and they don't want to reveal if it's COVID or whatever, it's gone down to unfit to play. And mark my words, that's got a big chance to remain that way, even after all this, that's all they'll do is say unfit to play. Anyways, it's just dumb because you don't know anything. Nothing, and I hate it. I hate upper body and lower body because it's kind of dumb, but unfit to play, just, I don't like it. But I guess I understand the necessity of it, I just don't like it. Number 5 on the good side. Kulak steps up. Brett Kulak, who had only 1 week of camp because he did have COVID and he tested positive and he got whatever and he got over it. So he only had 1 week at camp. And coming into really intense hockey, I did not expect him to do nearly as well as he's done. I was really worried about that. And he has stepped up and played really well. And that's just fantastic. So that's really on the good side. And it was a big surprise and necessary because, I mean, his play has allowed Montreal to do as well as they have. So he's a big part of that. Number 4, on the bad side, another Romanov one, but this time on the bad side. Romanov not allowed to play. So Alex Romanov, just put him up there as signed, sealed, and delivered on the good side, which it is, absolutely. The bad part is we were hoping that they would let them, the guys that were in Romanov's position, play. They decided not to, but they did allow them to go to the bubble and stay with the team and get accustomed to the team and used to North America, smaller ice surfaces. That's been good, but I really wish he would have been allowed to play because I think he is ready to play. I think he would have fit right in, and he would have done. I think he would have done well. I don't think there would have been a huge adjustment, but we're never going to know, and we're going to have that as number 4 there. Number 4 on the good side, another player, Jake Evans. I'll only put Jake Evans, and I'll tell you why. Jake Evans, he got hurt there for a while, but he took over the 4th line center, which is where he should be because that's where he was playing when everything got canceled and after they traded Thompson to Philadelphia. Evans took over, and he did a good job. Now, this is a 7th-round draft pick. A 7th-round draft pick. Not too many 7th-round draft picks that aren't goalies. because there's a lot of goalies that are actually drafted late like that. Cade pretty well. So there's not too many 7th-round draft picks that aren't goalies that have the potential this kid has. He looks really good. I don't know if he'll be a top 6, but I think he can definitely be a middle 6 forward and definitely do the job he's doing now. This is a good break-in role, 4th-line center. He's a big kid. He gets involved in the play. I just like what I see from Evans, and I think that's really one of the good things to see is that they finally gave him a chance, and he's doing well. Because, you know, we need to develop players. We want to have depth on this team. We have to develop players. You have to develop that depth. This team has not done that. Only in the last 2 years they changed the way what they're doing, and they're developing players. And Jake Evans is one of the examples of that. It's working. Next up is number 3 on the bad side, another player. No, I'm not going to write his first name. There's no need. Drouin. Drouin frustrates. Again. So Jonathan Drouin, we all had hope. I mean, I don't want to give up on the kid. Where's he going other than like his value is down? Where are we going to trade him away and get value for him now at this point? He needs to do something. I kind of really thought that from what we saw in the beginning of the season that he would bring that into the playoffs. He looked so good in camp and all that, and he just frustrating. But the line he's on now with Domi and with KK, I have hope for it. I hope it'll be different, but we keep saying that, don't we? I hope, and it frustrates us. So to me, him not really coming through so far has been on the bad side, not so good. And yeah, it's frustrating. Number 3 on the good side, I guess a lot of players, eh? Price. Price's stellar play. Harry Price has been amazing. And it's not just because we're Habs fans and we wear rose-colored glasses. His play has been amazing. He's somehow almost like found his youth when that 2014-15 season where he won everything and he was great, and only Chris Kreider kind of knocked him out with that injury into the net and all that stuff. So, but Price has been stellar, dominant, stellar. This last game, the 1-0 shutout, not his fault. The goal was a fluke, and he didn't let anything after that. It was his birthday. He wanted to win. He shut the door. The team let him down by not being able to score. But Price has been stellar, and that has been one of the really good things out of all this. Number 2 on the bad side. Julian's chest pains. I guess I'll put that. So, I mean, sad, you know, to see that Claude Julien, I guess the stress got to him. And maybe it's a good thing in the long run that they took care of something that was wrong with him before it actually really did some major damage. Because apparently it was not a heart attack, but they had to put the stent in to prevent a heart attack. And it makes all the difference for a guy's health. So we really could see him, if they beat Philadelphia, we could see him behind the bench in the next series. But what it allowed Kirk Muller to come out and coach a little bit. And we get to see Kirk Muller behind the bench. He coached a really good game. I don't know how much you can credit him or credit CJ or both, but he did make some moves, made some changes that really worked, and maybe not so much in the second game, but they didn't get so badly outplayed in the second game. It was a 1-0 tie. I mean, 1-0 tie. A 1-0 loss. They were with them all the way. There was good points on theirs. They had some bad. Same thing on the other side. So they can stay with Philadelphia. That's not a problem. And yeah, anyways, it allowed us to see the Muller side of coaching. But it was really sad that we didn't know what was wrong with him. And, you know, when you hear chest pains, man his age, you know, whether you liked him or not, and I wasn't one who doesn't like him. I think he's actually a really nice guy, especially off the ice. And I think I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't know if I've said that. Anyways, that was one of the bad things, obviously. Number 2, on the good side, we discovered that we have center depth. Nick Suzuki, Jesperi Kotkaniemi have both come out in this playoffs. Well, Suzuki was already emerging. KK was struggling. But they've both come out in these playoffs, and not only are they playing well, they're probably overall the 2 best players on the team. They are driving the offense right now. They're the 1 and 2 centers, and it is amazing to finally have some depth down the middle and not only have 1 NHL center, but we've got 3 because you've got now Suzuki, KK, and you've got Phil Deneau in his proper spot where he should be and do his most good, I think, is third line. And then you're developing a 4th line guy. Maybe he'll stay there, but I have a feeling he'll end up moving up somewhere. In Jake Evans. So we really nice and solid down the center. I can't remember a time since the 70s maybe that was like that. And maybe not even as good in the 70s, but probably back then. Number 1, on the bad side, the number 1s are doozers. It's worth that you waited if you're still watching, if you haven't turned off this video. But if you turned off this video, then you don't really hear what I'm saying, and I don't know who I'm talking to. So, number 1, on the bad side, I think a lot of people are going to agree with me. I'm going to try to write it. So, I'm hoping I'm spelling his last name properly. He's a Jew. I should know that. Elliot Friedman's beard. I think that might be. Now, maybe if you're not Canadian, you might not know what I'm talking about. But if you're not Canadian and you're wondering, just Google Elliot Friedman. Just Google Elliot Friedman's beard. You'll see what I'm talking about. So he is a really respected, and I like him. He's like an inside guy for hockey. And he grew a beard during COVID. A mountain man beard, and I think he was doing it actually for charity. He shaved it off, saved the hair, something to do with charity. But it was horrible. Elliot Friedman, like he's scary, horrible. So Elliot Friedman's beard, the worst thing that came out of the return to play. On the good side, what's the best thing to come out of it? Now everybody knows I'm not the biggest Leafs fan. So to all my subscribers or viewers that are Leafs fans, I apologize for this one. But as a Habs fan, I don't think you can expect anything less. Leafs knocked out in the QR. So the Leafs got knocked out. Oh boy, that looks like an R. Leafs got knocked out in the qualifying round, and the Habs did not. And yeah, that's a really good thing. I don't know what else to say except to smile and say the Leafs got knocked out in the qualifying round, and the Habs did not. And the Habs are holding their own against Philadelphia, and the Habs might actually win a playoff series, something that the Leafs haven't done in 30 years. I don't know how many years, but they haven't done it in a long time. So there you go. That's my top 10 list of good and not so good things since the return to play got started. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. If you want to comment on anything I put up here, do that in the comment section. I'd be interested to see what you guys think of this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring the notifications bell. And that's going to get you your daily fix of Blue Bar Rouge right here at Talkin' Habs. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please come out and check my videos and my live stream. And for tomorrow at 2:35, I'm live streaming before the game. And hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out. See you next videos.